It's been quite a week for Marcelo Bielsa with all this Spygate stuff. Nathan, what did you make of all of that?
Firstly, I think I probably had more trying week than he has, with moving to a new club and things. So look, it's happened. Much has been publicised about it. For us, we just focus on what we're doing. That's all. It's very difficult to comment and take any kind of moral high ground, I think. But for us, we just concentrate on what we've done. We've not let the events of anything affect what we do, which is the most important thing. We believe in what we do. We're just embarking on the first step on our process. So that's what we prefer to concentrate on. And plus, he's been quite complimentary to me in the press. So I'd be sort of a different character to now have a pop at him.
He has been unapologetic about it. I mean, you mentioned sort of the moral high ground there. Do you think it's more of a moral discussion than a discussion about the rules?
It's a very difficult thing to breach and to have an opinion on, because certain ones will think it's wrong or whatever. But look, people prepare in different ways, and others prepare or get information by various ways. So for me to sit there and say, it's wrong, it shouldn't happen, I don't think so. And as I said, the big focus for me is doing good work for Stoke City and whatever that means. We've trained, we've prepared as best we can. We don't veer too much from what we do, so we've got not a hell of a lot of secrets here. So we are who we are. He's watched 26 games of mine at Luton, the last 2 here. So he has enough information on me. You don't need to watch our training.
What did you make of that when he said he'd watched 26 games of what you'd done with Luton?
Well, it's thorough. It's good work. It's thorough work. I don't imagine he watches 26. I imagine he's got a team that watches. But we do that. We do exactly the same thing. We watch, gather enough information, watch clips. I spend, me, Joaquin, the analysts we have, spend hours watching games, watching Leeds games, patterns and things. That's just being thorough. So it's not revolutionary. It's just probably the first time someone's come out and give it a presentation. So if you want to, one day we'll do it for you.
It'd be quite nice to see that. You didn't stiffen the security around training this week or anything like that? Did you have a look out for anybody from Leeds that might be coming to look?
Not really, because where'd you look? In a tree, on the motorway, bushes. Look, someone wants to spy. If he wants to watch us that much, I will welcome him into my training ground. I would love to sit down and chat with Marcelo about football, because I think he's a very great mind, as people have spoken about. But we believe in our work here, so look, we've no issues whatsoever. But hopefully this will all blow over, and I'm sure there'll be a story. I would like Stoke to be on the right end of a result and the right story, so that none of this matters anymore.
With that game in mind, I mean, look, it's a big old game for you, of course, coming so soon in the time since you've taken over. But I wonder from the players' perspective whether this could be a turning point for them. If you get a result against the league leaders, it can really kick you on from here, can't it? Is that what you've been telling them?
Well, look, we've gone down a few themes in how we approach this game, but it's a difficult game. I don't know, league leaders at any, I've been at the right end of thing when I've gone into games. I know that sides, know they're in for a game when our side turned up. So for Leeds to be coming here, it's a big game. It's a big game anyway with Leeds. I've played against Leeds in League One, and it was a big game. I played in Leeds in the Championship. It's a big game. So Leeds coming here, being league leaders with all the furore about so on, would be a massive game. But again, it's about what we do. We are embarking on a journey and a process that it doesn't matter what anyone else does, because eventually we will get to a thing where you'll be talking to us about us in the same way. But what we have to do, it's a tough game, a real tough game. And look, I've had 5 training days and 3 games, so it's been a bit of a crazy start, in terms of that. So we've tried to change things gradually. I think we were excellent for 70 minutes the other day. I mean, absolutely excellent. And then didn't manage the game well enough, which I didn't envisage coming. So we've got to make sure that we're better now. Now our processes on Tuesday were better than they were last Saturday. So hopefully you'll see an improvement tomorrow on what you saw Tuesday, and then we're a process. We've got to start winning games, because if you win games, it breeds confidence, and then the work you do has even more effect, because people buy into it and people see it and they believe it, and until they get to that that level, then or when we get to that level, then we'll start moving forward at a good rate.
I mean, you'll know how pleased a lot of people in football are that a young manager like yourself, in the, no disrespect the lower leagues, is given a chance at a big club like this. And then you get a really tough introduction where you've got those 2 games that come thick and fast, and a disappointing one in the FA Cup when you look to be in control of it and then it turns around. Just how tough has it been for you to make that step and the introduction to it? Has it been harder than you expected?
No, not at all. I mean, when you go into when I went into my old club, Luton, it wasn't champagne and roses. I can promise you that. We had no training ground. We had players that I knew from day one were never going to be able to play in my system and the way I wanted to play. We had to shed 8 in the first week. So when you go into a new club, there's always issues. But for me, it's just been the time restraints, the speed of everything happening. What's happened, obviously, when I left a club in a good place, and the reaction from that, for myself and my family. And then we come with no real time to work with the players because you bang into a game, and a difficult game. Then you bang into another one. And, I'm trying to get to know all the players. So there's so many things around it. We will build something here. It's going to take a little bit of time. But as I said, I had a number of opportunities to leave Luton and to leave a wonderful place, a wonderful club, and I was in a wonderful position there. It needed to be a special place, one that wanted to build something. And when I met people here, I knew it was, it's a process, and it's going to be a process to get us back to where we belong. But we want to get there safely. So look. It may take a little bit of time. We want to move quickly, but it may take a little bit of time. But yeah, it's been a crazy time. But that happens when you go to a new club.
How big a boost for you personally to get Paul Hart in, and what does he bring to you personally as your assistant?
My staff are key. I think it's key when you take a big step, because this is a big step, as you stated. It's key that you get people around you that you can trust. I mean, there's 2 good people here, Andy Key and Roy Delap, who we are fully committed to working with in terms of they're key to what we do, without, excuse the pun. But it's important to get people, because we work at a certain level. We work very hard. We're very regimented in what we do. We're very thorough, as I've already stated, with other managers do. So it's important I got my sports scientist in, because he controls my environment. It's important I got my first team coach in Joaquin, who's my right hand man really, because we work tactically, we do the training, we control everything, we watch the games, we spend so much time together that we probably could be married. And then to get someone like Paul in is totally different. Now, Paul's an experienced head, a bit of a mentor for mine. When I get too full of myself or a little bit down, he's the one that keeps me on an equilibrium, if you like. Plus the way he is around the place, he's a more vibrant character than he looks, and he lifts people, and said his experience is everything. So, and I think it's important, because I'm a young manager who's learning, and I'm on a learning curve. We all learn, but I'm on an early learning curve, and I want to learn. I want to learn quickly, and I want good people around me, and so it's been vital, really.
Tyrese Campbell has been telling everybody in the media he's desperate for a first league start. How do you feel about the idea of throwing a 19-year-old in against the league leaders? Is it something you're thinking about?
Look, I have no fear of throwing. If they're good enough, they're old enough. We need to freshen things up here anyway, in terms of a lot, because I think there's a lot that we can improve in the short term, environment wise, and look, if anyone earns the right to play, then they can. Look, it's a big game, so it's a big ask for a 19-year-old to do. To go out and lead the line up against league leaders and such a big game. But if I feel he's ready, I'll have absolutely no fear in doing it, as I won't with anyone else. Reputations are reputations, but you have to uphold those reputations, and I'm new into the job, and I want to get results, so however I get them will be the main thing.
What have you sensed of the squad so far? I mean, there's no doubt in the quality in this squad. I mean, I know the owners here and you yourself have said it's one of the strongest squads in the division still. Absolutely confident about that. And yet they haven't performed all season before you got here. Have you come in and found a squad that's very low on confidence? Is that all it is, or is there something more than that?
It's difficult, because I don't want to speak about an old regime, because, as I said, especially a manager who's far more experienced than me, but after coming down from the Premier League and not starting brilliant, because there's been a lot of pressure on Stoke to go straight back up, and especially them, with things in place here. But it's important we don't look at the past and concentrate on the future. So what we've done, we've had a look and evaluated the club. It's a big squad which will need to be trimmed, because I can't work with that amount of people and keep that many people focused, motivated, and at the level that we need to train and play at. So that's the first thing. But then it's just about putting things in place, your work, and getting my ideas over and filling them with not just confidence but belief in what they do and themselves. So we'll just go through processes that we use, regardless of what's gone on before, and God willing, people will buy into it, and they'll buy into it quickly, or we'll have to make sure that we do have players to do.
Team news? Anybody struggling from the week or from the weekend before?
No, not really. We had a few players that weren't used to doing the minutes, because some haven't played for a long time, but I thought they were excellent. I thought they were excellent for large periods of the game. Well documented 11 minutes that cost us the game, but apart from that, I was very encouraged, and we could have been sitting here in a totally different sort of optimism, if you like. But no, we seem to be fine.
And last question, I guess one of the frustrations about that, other than the result, obviously, is that the Cup would have been a good opportunity for you to see some of your squad. When you know so little about these players, to give people opportunities, and that's gone now. So you've got the concentrate period where you've got to almost try them out on the job, haven't you?
Well, yeah, that's the thing. But look, we wouldn't. To be fair, with Wolves coming here, we couldn't afford it to take them lightly in any way, because again, you want to build confidence, but it's just circumstance at the minute. The timing of everything. As a new manager, ideally, you would love to be appointed at the end of May, so you can have a full summer window and then a full pre-season to work with them. Sometimes it doesn't work like that, so you come into places and you have to change things quickly, but you also have to change them safely, because you can't make wholesale changes and if they're the wrong ones. So you have to bed yourself in and so on. And it's about the long term. It's about making sure that we want to get results quickly, but with one eye on the long term in terms of building reinforcing a wonderful football club here.
Good man. Good luck, pal.
Rob's already mentioned the fact that the players may be low on confidence, and given time and changes of results, that will return quickly. But the fans are also extremely frustrated, and whilst you don't want to go back over what's happened before, it's not an understatement to say you really need those fans to be with us. It's not going to be too difficult at the start tomorrow against Leeds, but it's a massive game, and the fans really have to buy into us doing well, don't they?
Well, yeah, and look, and what we said to the fans is there's going to be a journey, right? And I said the same at my old club, and 3 years down the line, there's a full house at my old place. They're singing. It's the best place they've ever. It's probably one of the best times they've ever had as a football club. Now we will get there, and it's just going to be a few things in between. We have to, one, trim the squad; two, improve results; implement a philosophy; implement a way of training, playing, acting, everything, because that's what a philosophy is. And then along the way, we'd like fans to stay with us, to be relatively patient, as long as they see a team they can be proud of, a team that works for them, a team that are Stoke players, that give their all. Then they'll play in a certain way, which we believe is the right way for us to win games. And if they buy in right from the beginning, just think of how good they will feel years down the line when we are where we want to be, where we have a team, and they would have believed in it right from the beginning. That's the best thing about it. So when you go through tough times, it's the ones that come through those tough times, and you can look back. How you look back on it? Do you look back and think, "Oh, I wilted there," or do you look back on it and think, "No, I was strong. I believed. I bought into it. I had that desire to do well." And then when they end the best place, it's such a good feeling when you look back on it, because it's not, in the words of Miley Cyrus, it's the climb. It's not where you end up. It's the climb, and the best thing about it is how you feel going through it.
But Miley Cyrus is really impressed with that comment. Moving forward, Rob again has also said that there's a problem where the players have got into what some people term a losing culture. How difficult is it for you? I know you're very positive, I know your staff are very positive, but as an ex-player, and you've worked with people before, how difficult is it, because everybody's an individual, to get those people? For 11 minutes we committed suicide the other night. How can you major on the 60 odd minutes that went before to make them improve?
Well, you have to focus on the positives while improving the negatives. But as you said, there's a few things that we have to do here that improves the environment first, that will then contribute to us having better footballers, fitter footballers, stronger mental footballers. Then you put them into those games, then results improve, performances improve, which will lead to results improving, and then confidence returning, and then you can start to put results together. And once you do that, then anything is possible. But we believe you're not just going to go in and just say, right, we're going to go, we're going to smash it, we're going to play it, we're going to get on the front foot, we're going to try and win a game. No, it's not going to be that. There's a process to what we do, and as long as you stick to that and believe in it, then we'll get there.
The last one from me. You've been helped by the board in terms of bringing in all the staff you want. It's been an expensive 2-3 years for the owners of this football club, as you know. But you must now be looking at the transfer window. You've said you've got to freshen it up. Are there any, I'm not asking you to name players, but you obviously want to bring people in. Is there any idea of how many you want to get in?
Firstly, my staff will earn every single penny. It's good for the club that we don't get paid by the hour, because if we did, it'd be far more expensive. Secondly, we will streamline the squad so that we don't need the amount of players that we have. And then when we recruit, we'll recruit what we call Stoke City players. Now, Stoke City players will play in a certain way, will act in a certain way, will train, will be athletic, will be courteous, will buy into the community. Everything like that, we will sign from now on Stoke City players. Well, they haven't signed them anyway, but so whatever expense the club has been through or whatever they've done, what we will put in place will be far more value than anyone could imagine. So that's what we'll do. And then once we do that, we genuinely believe that results will improve and we'll be on an upward spiral rather than saying, yeah, it's been a tough time for the club. We documented it last year. They've had 10 wonderful years. A little bit of a tough time now. I've been brought here, and in God's will, it'll be stop the downward spiral, sort of get a bit of continuity, and then let's provide a springboard for future success.
Thank you. Good luck.
Anybody else? That's it. Thank you. Just do the radios now and then we'll let you guys.